Hello, my name is Fran Romero from Spanglish Cinema, Chile. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well. Where do you think she finds her straight to be in the most difficult moment that a human being could be, and still having the resilience of being kind, of being respectful, and of to tell the visual stories?
So, Lee was always quite a brave child. She refused to let that thing define her. She also had a really interesting relationship with her mother, who was quite absent from her childhood because her mother suffered with mental illness and would occasionally be hospitalized for that mental illness. And so Lee had to learn a level of resilience as a quite a young girl that was perhaps slightly unbalanced. But Lee was a survivor. Some people have inherent qualities where they know self-protection. Lee obviously learned self-protection through something that had happened to her. But what Lee also learned was how to not stand for injustice. She knew how to stare in the face of evil and say, that's wrong. I'm going to hold up a mirror. I'm going to photograph that. I'm going to make sure that the world knows, because these people should not get away with it. And that absolutely came from what happened to her when she was a child. How she developed kindness. She actually came from a really nice family. She was surrounded by a lot of warmth and support. She had great friends. She had great female friends. And actually that was important to us in making the film, that we made sure you really see that very female friendship with Audrey Withers, played so brilliantly by Andrea Riseborough in our film. Because Lee and Audrey's correspondence with one another was vast across many, many years during the war. I had access to all of those letters. I really held them in my hands. And I know that the two of them kind of needed each other. I mean, yes, of course, Lee needed Audrey, but Audrey also needed Lee. Audrey was, she was a very strong woman too, but she was much more emotionally reserved and held. I guess you could say she was quite British. Not that I'm like that, but certainly in that time, that is largely how women were. Audrey Withers was quite a left-leaning, almost a radical thinker. She also was an incredible writer and wanted to be a writer herself. So she was a great champion of Lee's writing. Lee was really nervous. She didn't think that she could write. She didn't know that she was going to be able to do it. And it turns out that her writing was almost as extraordinary as her photographic work. But I think we live in a time where we want to be inspired by the stories of others. And I think as women, we want to be inspired by other women. Because life is really short, you know. And Lee was somebody who just got out there and lived it.